This is the first room on the third floor that I did the plaster removal completely on my own. In the first two bedrooms that we did on this floor, I had Dad's help. And I strategically picked those two bedrooms to be the ones that he helped me with because they had a long slanted wall, which was just so tricky. I was glad to have a second set of hands. And I knew that this bedroom in particular was going to be fairly easy on the slanted side because this is where that really active water leak was. I mean, you can see some of the ceiling had already fallen down by itself. So as you can imagine, this plaster was fairly easy to remove. Because of the water damage, it only came off in little bitty sections, but it was easy to scrape, and that's what I care more about than getting those big, satisfying chunks. In this room, the gap in the floor is too large for me to step over normally, and I definitely didn't want to try to navigate that with a heavy bucket of plaster. So I brought in some of the broken floorboards that I had out in the landing and laid them down to close the gap a little bit, and in this section I used it to put my ladder on while working on the hard-to-reach sections. As you've probably noticed, I try to start with the exterior walls on any of the rooms that I'm taking plaster down in. Because of the blown-in insulation that is still sitting in some of these exterior walls, there's not a lot of room for the keys from the plaster to fall off into the wall and separate it from the lath. And that's where my crowbar and scraper come in. It just takes a little more muscle to get those pieces separated from the wall. So I knock them out first, that way they are not waiting for me at the end of a workday. And finishing with the easier interior walls makes me feel like such a champ at the end of a long day. Right now we're about 2/3 of the way through this video and I'm still working on my second wall. We have 2 walls to go, so that gives you somewhat of an idea of how much longer these walls are taking me than the next 2 walls will. As many of you know, I still don't have a dumpster at the house. I'm waiting until I get more of the plaster down so I can just fill a dumpster and have it hauled off. And in the meantime, I have turned that first bedroom we did on this floor into the dumping ground for plaster. So every bucket you see me carry out is just going into a huge pile in that bedroom. You can see that pile through this doorway here. I think this room is going to end up being my bedroom. I want to put it on the 3rd floor somewhere, and I just like the shape and the light in the rooms at the front of the house better than the back of the house. And since I already know I want the other one across the landing to be my crafting and music room, that leaves this one to be my room. Next up in this room is getting that ceiling down and all of the lath off of the walls. Stay tuned for more updates.